Hello guys, welcome back to LR Anime. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 444 based on novel. So let's start. Holy flame. No wonder it has always made me feel so strongly uneasy. I just don't know which one of the holy flames this guy has. The old chief narrowed his eyes slightly, staring at the amber flame on Xiao Yang's body. Even if Xiao Yang tried his best to suppress his breath, it was the secret of his flame being penetrated by his glance. The fire elves specialize in flames. Although they have a unique understanding of the power of flames, the flames they control cannot be compared with holy flames, and they are still a lot worse than holy flames. You all shoot with all your strength and defeat them as quickly as possible. This battle, we can only win but not lose. On the body of the old chief, the brown flames began to roll, and vaguely transformed into countless complicated and obscure patterns, lingering on his body, slowly blooming the power of his reincarnation. Sir, are you being too careful? The two reincarnation elders said hesitantly, seeing that the chieftain actually used such terrifying flame power. They are worthy of reincarnation. Whether it is combat experience or sense of smell, they are far less than this old chieftain. Pedantly, the flame on the guy in front of him is holy flame. The strength of the master of the holy flame must not be fooled by the surface, do it. After the last word was said, the body of the old chief vacated the sky and instantly swept towards Xiao Yang's position in the sky. The power he carried actually made all the energy in this world lightly dimmed. Everyone saw only two afterimages that were reaching their limit, constantly causing uproar in this world, and even a lightning-like flamestorm raging out from the two people above the sky. That level of battle, it's a real life-and-death struggle. Is this guy really in the middle stage of the 8-star fighting immortals? This is too scary, isn't it? Lina looked at the two fighting in the sky, especially Xiao Yang. With such strength, he was on a par with the old chieftain of the first layer of reincarnation, and there was a strong disbelief in her small eyes. The power of the reincarnation level is a truly strategic power in the Great Thousand Worlds, which also leads to the fact that there are not a few people in the Fire Elves who have completed the 8-star Battle of Immortals, but very few can step into the reincarnation. The word reincarnation, with its might and power, is enough to destroy the world. But why is the so-called second brother Xiao Yi, the seemingly terrifying reincarnation level, so cheap? Is the strength of the reincarnation of the old chieftain too weak? Second brother's strength cannot be inferred from common sense. When I was still the Do Emperor, it was common practice to fight over the tiers. Now, with the increase in the power of the holy flame, I am afraid it is enough to compete with the old chieftain. Lina, integrate the troops and fight to the death with these guys from the Western tribe. Yes. Lina grinned, and the power in her body rolled over immediately, leading the remaining tribe warriors to launch an attack on everyone in the Western tribe, trying to relieve Xiao Yang's pressure. Although the fighting strength of the two tribes is not proportional, after the Southern tribe sent a call signal, some elf warriors from the Southern tribe rushed here. The master of the holy flame is indeed well deserved. After the simple confrontation, the old chief gave Xiao Yang a very high evaluation. Although the two were only the most basic temptations, the old chief found that once his attack landed on his body, it would not bring any changes. Instead, it will be swallowed up by its holy flame. Even the skin above Xiao Yang's emaciated body faintly revealed an extremely terrifying sense of strength, as if his physical strength was tyrannically breaking through the sky. If this is the case, I am afraid that it will take a lot of effort to deal with this guy. It is no wonder that this guy has such courage and the reason for doing it himself. Boom. At the same time, bursts of energy shone through Xiao Yang's skin, and a dazzling pale yellow flame swept out from Xiao Yang's body. When Xiao Yang's toes suddenly touched the void, it turned into a golden giant and rose into the sky. Immortal golden body. Xiao Yang's body crossed the sky, his palms turned up, and the mysterious yellow flames formed a golden flame that burst out. Behind him, the space was distorted, and a golden giant full of 100 meters in size was quietly crawling. Xiao Yang knew the tyranny of the reincarnation level, so when he shot, he used the immortal golden body as a guide, which not only could reduce the pressure on other elf warriors, but also prepare for the first reincarnation level. Although I am a little surprised, today, Your Excellency helped the wrong person. As ordered by the princess, the southern part must be wiped out today, so, death to this chief. The killing intent fluctuated in the eyes of the chieftain, and on his long arms, there were conspicuous fire emblems densely covered. The composition of those fire emblems turned out to be like some ancient flame creatures, containing endless terror. Power. Fire spirit holy palm. The brown flames and the coat of arms continued to erupt with extremely bright brown energy, and immediately gathered in the palm of the elder chief, and a brown palm print, which was no more than an inch in size, brewed away. The brown fire palm burst out, and the air exploded, turning into countless flame emblems and killing Xiao Yan. Whether it was the brown fire palm or the looming flame emblems, some kind of terrifying fluctuation was brewing, suppressing the surrounding void and the power in Xiao Yan's body. Immortal golden body. Xiao Yan snorted coldly, endless chills filled his eyes. The amber flame on his body quietly fell on the golden giant, the majestic flame giant, with a wave of ancient and mysterious waves, intertwined with the flame palm whistling from the chief. Together, a tingling sensation that is enough to make one's scalp numb, spreads from the center of the battle, and the violent energy overflows everywhere. Even some powerhouses who are worthy of entering reincarnation are at a loss for a battle of that level. The strength of this guy cannot be underestimated, and now I can only try that. Burning judgment. Integrate it. Buddha's anger. Fire lotus. Xiao Yan raised his head abruptly, his body moved like a ghost, constantly dodging the next fierce attack from the chieftain. He made up his mind, and immediately began to move. The holy flame power in this guy's body is noisy and disorderly. According to our clan's records on the holy flame list, there has never been any holy flame that looks like this. And this guy looks very strange. What is this doing? The eyes of the old chief were surging, but he was extremely puzzled when he saw Xiao Yan's actions. Flame. Hey, what's going on? When Xiao Yan was condensing the fire lotus as usual, the flame cauldron in front of him burst out with a dazzling suction, absorbing the source of holy flame overflowing from Xiao Yan's body. Not so scary, right? After careful sensing, Xiao Yan was very excited. It seemed that Fen Zhu stepped into the first realm, and the power of this small flame cauldron was slightly revealed. Now that he is fighting, he only needs to inject the power of holy flame into it. It seems to be able to automatically condense and fuse the Buddha's fury lotus. This is simply something custom-made for your own fitness. The battle between Xiao Yan and the old chieftain set off a monstrous energy ripple on the edge of the elf island, causing the void to vibrate endlessly. This level of battle is really rare in the relatively closed fire elf station. Xiao Yi, the second brother's situation doesn't seem very optimistic. Lina and Xiaoyi joined forces, and the purple flames on their bodies showed signs of merging, so they were able to repel the strong enemy in one fell swoop, freeing up some free time to watch Xiao Yan on the sky constantly being chased by the elders. Hurriedly opened his mouth. Don't worry, since the second brother is here, he must have his plans. Our top priority right now is to stop the elf warriors from the western tribe for the second brother, and we must not add any burden to the second brother. Xiao Yi Juanmei's face cast a glance at the battle circle between Xiao Yan and the old chieftain. The aftermath of that level of battle made his eyelids jump violently. Looking at the many strong men in the western tribe in front of him, he snorted coldly. As soon as the words fell, the purple flames on the two of them became more turbulent, and they immediately became one in the battlefield, but the power of the purple flames was tyrannical in ordinary flames. Boom! The old chief raised his finger, and a mysterious wave filled the air. The brown flames in his body lingered on his fingertips. He actually predicted the place where Xiao Yan would land next. With a single finger, the brown flame pierced the sky and banged hard on top of Xiao Yan's body. At the same time, Xiao Yan concentrated on conveying the source of holy flame to the small flame cauldron. Being hit by this guy like this, the immortal golden body shrank rapidly. Although there was no trace of breaking, a terrifying shock wave spread from the immortal golden body, which made Xiao Yan feel dizzy. The first level of reincarnation is really extraordinary, but that's it. Buddha's furious fire lotus. Xiao Yan roared, the flame cauldron trembled slightly, and instantly appeared on Xiao Yan's palm. At the same time, a beautiful fire lotus seed carrying a majestic energy quietly dormant in Xiao Yan's hand. Even if the perfect and delicate lotus seeds have not been released, the aura contained in them makes everyone in this space feel an extremely heavy aura. What kind of power is this? The old man's pupils shrank violently, his eyes were full of astonishment, his eyes fixed on the small flame cauldron on Xiao Yan's palm. Since the appearance of this flaming cauldron, the power in the chieftain's body has produced an extremely tyrannical fear. Even if he knew that Xiao Yan was carrying a holy flame, he had great restraint on himself, but the advantage was that the difference in strength between the two was too large. He thought in his heart that this gap could not be made up by holy flames. Reason. 5-color Buddha's furious fire lotus. Xiao Yan slowly raised his hand. The delicate tiny lotus seed in the palm of his hand was like a black hole, slowly blooming with endless flame coercion. The vast and majestic five-color flame ripples suddenly spread with Xiao Yang as the center. In that flame, there are several completely different powers, just emerging. The entire stable void is shaking, even the purple flame that existed before. All shaking violently. This lunatic. At this moment, the face of the old chief finally completely solidified. Based on his experience, he naturally knew how terrifying the attack intensity that Xiao Yang was using now. Fire Spirit Flame. Feeling Xiao Yang's nearly destroyed five-colored fire lotus, the old chief had a cold face, a rare light flashed across his eyes, all the energy in the body stirred together, and the brown flames swept out, condensing into a 1,000-meter energy soul shadow. Roaring away like a beast. Boom. Two boundless energy fluctuations collided violently in this world. Even if the people fighting around were far apart, they could clearly smell the scalp-tingling feeling. Gulu. This kind of power can really be displayed by a human with the strength of an 8-star fighting immortal. Feeling the pervading energy of this unprecedented destruction, the elf warriors on both sides stopped fighting involuntarily, and turned out to be working together to cast an energy barrier to prevent the spread of their power. It's not over yet. Blast me. Looking at the brown flames and five-color lotus seeds that were evenly matched for a while, Xiao Yang's voice sounded like a demon in this world. Not good. Hearing Xiao Yang's voice, the pupils of the old chief shrank violently, and his vision became blurred. The power of reincarnation and brown flames slanted out together, turning into a brown river, trying to stop the self-destruction of the fire lotus. Boom. No matter what the old chief did, the fire lotus burst suddenly under the control of Xiao Yang, and the surging power fell from the sky, forcibly burning this stable void into a mess. The gorgeous five-color flame exudes a strong aura of exhaustion and decay. It seems that under its power, whether it is the void or the life of an elf warrior, it will easily decay. Leave me alone. Feeling that the old chief had the slightest intention of retreating, Xiao Yang's body was blessed by many forces, and he turned into a flaming meteor, directly strung into the center of the explosion, trying to hit the old chief with a fatal blow. The information that Aisha said is not accurate. The reincarnation powerhouses in this western tribe have a number of reincarnation powerhouses in these few battles alone, but the strength of this chieftain at the first level of reincarnation is undoubtedly the western tribe. If the middleweight guy can be bound and imprisoned, it will also be a devastating blow to the western tribe. A arrogant person, don't go too far. And just when Xiao Yang started to move to prepare for a powerful strike, a light butterfly-shadowed woman pierced the sky and appeared in the sight of countless elves. What is this? When this moving voice sounded, Xiao Yang only felt that his mind was in a trance for a moment. Countless eyes raised and looked at the sky, and then a butterfly shadow woman composed of energy appeared above the chief elder out of thin air. Under everyone's attention, the latter slowly stretched out a slender jade hand and burst into the five-color fire lotus below. The aura of destruction that came out pressed down. Boom. Countless butterfly shadows slanted from their energy bodies, suddenly intertwined with the bursting five-color fire lotus with extremely hot and mysterious power. Butterfly Ying's ascension turned out to be an instant burst of terrifying high temperature that was no less than the power of holy flame, evaporating the holy flame power that was enough to threaten this space. Retreat. After doing all this, the energy butterfly shadow seems to have used up all of its strength and dissipates easily, but the orders contained in the voice, even the chiefs, have to obey. Crack. As soon as the voice fell, the energy body just disappeared. Damn humans. Western tribe, retreat. The old chief cast a remorseful glance at Xiao Yang, Xiaoyi, and the others, and immediately waved his hand, and took many elf warriors from the western tribe and left here in an instant. What was that just now? Xiao Yang had some doubts in his heart. It seemed that the butterfly shadow woman who had just passed away in a flash had the power in her body that should not be underestimated. Commander of the western tribe, Alice. The strength of the first-level reincarnation, it is said that among the fire elves, some second-level elders are unable to defeat her. Xiao Yi leaned over and said, "Okay, now that the crisis is over, let's rectify this place properly. When you've sorted it out, it's time to compete for the fire elves. After all, I'm here to help you this time." Xiao Yang said with a smile. There was a rare sense of relief in his voice. The war between the western tribe and the southern tribe has come to an end. After nearly a month of rest, the southern tribe was fully recovered. On the other hand, after the western tribe returned, there was no action. As for Aisha and others, they were imprisoned in the southern tribe. The southern tribal elves reside in a forest log house. It is quite clean and tidy, and there is a faint fragrance. It's all done. Seeing Xiao Yi and Lina walking in with each other's arms, Xiao Yang joked, but Xiao Yang couldn't help but cast a glance at Lina, the princess of the Fire Elf royal family. Today, she is completely different from the time of the battle. She has put on a water mist lingering dress, a green herbal skirt, and a green gauze. The faint fragrance permeates the air. Her muscles are thick and fat, like a secluded orchid. She is charming and boneless, and she is indeed the princess of the Fire Elf clan. Whether it is her temperament or the mysterious power on her body, she is awe-inspiring. Well, it's all over for now. Xiao Yi showed a long-lost smile. All the major issues of the southern tribes have been dealt with these days, but she has shrunk here with peace of mind, waiting for further actions. Lina has met second brother Xiao Yang. Lina bent down slightly, and was extremely polite to Xiao Yang, but she followed Xiao Yi from beginning to end and was extremely clingy. Tell me about the current situation. It seems that the southern tribe is not too optimistic. Xiao Yang ignored the pair for the time being, but asked about the business. Lina is one of the branches of the royal family among the Fire Elves. It is because of her support that I can form the southern tribe to fight against the other two princesses. Although the southern tribe is on the decline, it is fortunate that the distribution of power is even, and it can also compete with the other two tribes. Unfortunately, this time it was designed by Alice to disperse the power of our southern tribe. When Xiao Yi recalled it now, she was still frightened. What's the matter with your holy flame embryo and reincarnation seal? And the power of your purple flame should not be underestimated. Xiao Yang nodded and continued to ask. The embryo of the holy flame will become a new holy flame in the future. As for the power and ranking, I don't know if I don't step into the reincarnation, but according to my estimation, the power of the new holy flame should be 20 on the holy flame list. Wandering around. As for the reincarnation seal and the purple flame, they are actually related to the Fire Elves. Because among the Fire Elves, there is a precious holy flame with a long tradition. Xiao Yi explained bluntly, but when she said the word holy flame in the Fire Elves family, her expression was extremely strange. Oh, there is actually an inheritance holy flame in the Fire Elves family? Xiao Yang was still extremely shocked by this. Because of the seal of reincarnation, I can barely use some of the power of the holy flame, but for nearly thousands of years, no one has been able to conquer the holy flame. The Fire Elf headquarters claims to be the case, but I think there is another mystery. I suspect there is something wrong with this holy flame. Xiao Yi spoke out her thoughts. Something wrong? Lina was surprised by this whereabouts. Now, what Xiao Yi said, but she never mentioned it to herself. I can't tell you exactly. In short, from the feedback I received from the Seal of Samsara, I'm afraid there are some unknown secrets in this holy flame. According to my guess, it should be the elders in the Fire Elf headquarters who said this in order to hide people's eyes and ears. Xiao Yi said in a deep voice. Obviously this is the first time that she has said such a thing. In the past, these words were never even mentioned by Lina. But didn't you say the same to the other elders in the tribe? A rare surprise appeared on Lina's elegant face, as if she was a little confused by Xiao Yi's words. In the tribe, there will inevitably be some unknown identities. I did this to protect our last strength. Xiao Yi said bitterly. Well, I will pay attention to this matter. By the way, in addition to the Western tribe Alice who needs to be vigilant, there seems to be another tribe. Why hasn't there been any movement recently? Xiao Yang looked at Xiao Yi and asked. This question is also the top priority right now. The situation of the three major tribes of the contenders is not optimistic. Once they take a wrong step, they may be in hell. East Falls, Princess Chen Qin. Our southern tribe is the weakest among the three major tribes. One is a first tier, one is a reincarnation, and there are not a few others who touch reincarnation and 8-star fighting immortals. However, among the other two tribes, although there is only one first-tier elder, there are several reincarnation powerhouses, and the two princesses are also first-tier reincarnation, but this Chen Qin princess is indulging in her own chess game all day long. In the way of calligraphy and painting, it seems that there is no intention to compete. Xiao Yi shook her head and said with complicated eyes. My lord, a elf letter sent by the two tribes of the Western tribe and the Eastern tribe. Please take a look. At the same time, an elf warrior knocked on the door, handed Lina a beautiful envelope, and left immediately. 3 days later, it will be co-organized by the Fire Elf headquarters, and a candidate competition will be held at the elf altar. Our three major tribes can each send 3 strong people to participate. Once any of the 3 of them loses, they will lose the right to fight. The competition is a one-on-one wheel battle. The winner can then deal with the next opponent, the loser is out, until all the 3 sides lose, and the last winner will become the next leader of the Fire Elves. In the short text, it revealed a heavy depression. What a clever method. After the three of them read the contents of the envelope together, they muttered. In our tribe, there is only one level reincarnation level elder. Although his strength and experience are not comparable to those of the other two tribes, he is the last of our tribe. Xiao Yi said. Her face was extremely ugly. This kind of thing was probably intentional by the other two tribes. What about the exact strength of the other two tribes? Each tribe sends 3 people. If they have the strength of the double reincarnation rank or above, it will be troublesome. Xiao Yang nodded, but he knew the terrifying gap between the first and second tiers. If he is now, the limit is probably only the first tier of reincarnation. There won't be a second-order rank. The powers of the 3 major tribes are all formed by us. Like this kind of powerhouse above the second-order rank, there should only be the Fire Elf headquarters. Xiao Yi explained. If that's the case, it'll be fine. Our southern tribe, just you and me and the first-level reincarnation elder. But I think this competition is probably just for you and me. Xiao Yang shrugged, but did not have any fear, and the thick wariness filled his eyes. All right. You haven't contacted me for so many years since you left. If it wasn't for Joshin to make an assertion this time, I'm afraid I still don't know your plight. Bring the wine, you must punish yourself 3 times today. The 2 brothers are not going to get drunk again today, and they have a different kind of leisurely mood. Of course, this is probably just a harbinger of the storm. A few days passed quickly. After we left, martial law was imposed in the south, and it was strictly forbidden for any unidentified strong person to enter or leave. Once there is any change, crush the space scroll I gave you as soon as possible, and take everyone to escape. Do you know? Everyone was on a large square in the south, and Xiao Yi kept instructing Lena, who was beside her. This was also for the sake of the last step. Okay. Lena nodded. She naturally knew the seriousness of the matter at this time. In order to prevent unnecessary trouble, only Xiao Yi and the 3 of them went alone on this trip. This is a unicorn, a rare beast among elves. Second brother, let's go. Xiao Yi pulled over to a unicorn beside her, and waved to Xiao Yang. The unicorn is quite docile, and its overall shape is like a white horse. There is a spiral-shaped horn in front of its forehead, which is extremely solid and sacred. Don't worry too much. At this time, Xiao Yang didn't have much to help Xiao Yi, because he found that this guy's growth rate was a bit terrifying. Let's go. Zaidu waved their hands, and the 3 of them rode on the unicorn and instantly sank into the void, and began to embark on the most important journey among the Fire Elves. The northern part of the Sea of the Sky, the headquarters of the Fire Elves. The Elf Lakeside, Elf Altar, etc. are all holy places for the Fire Elves, and the destination of this competition is located at the Elf Altar. The Altar of the Elf is located at the highest point in the entire sky. It has been the only venue for various canonization ceremonies and competitions among the Fire Elf family for countless years. The degree of stability of the space here, in other words, even the ordinary second and third layer reincarnation level strength cannot break through the void here. The name of the altar originated from the goddess of Fire Elf in ancient times, Her Majesty Yaroji. It is said that when the Sea of the Sky was not unified, it was divided. At that time, there were a total of 12 Wushan mountains. The number 1 Wushan mountain is called the Goddess Peak. The Goddess Peak stands in the center of the 12 Wushan mountains. It is green all year round, beautiful and tall. The energy of heaven and earth of Wushan Mountain. One day, an unidentified girl was born from the Goddess Peak. She has a pure heart, a beautiful appearance, and a ringing match. The whole body is full of strange fragrance, and her strength is unprecedentedly powerful. She once relied on the power of one person, swept the countless elves among the 12 Wushan mountains in the Sea of the Sky, and provoked countless elves in this elf world to bow down to him. The name of the goddess of Wushan, Yaoji, also came from this. It is said that she is the incarnation of nature and the leader of the elves. There are many opinions, but no one knows her life experience, and there is no specific basis. However, according to some obscure records of the elves, after the goddess Yaoji spoke up, she was proficient in a kind of different from the power in the great world. Witchcraft. The power of witchcraft comes from the Goddess Peak, from the ancient origin of Shangtsung, but the power of witchcraft is less conspicuous than forbidden arts, and even has many mysteries, which is also the exclusive power of the goddess Yaoji. Yaoji was born and conquered the arrogant and domineering elf race among the 12 Wushan mountains with absolute power. Soon, the 3 gods and Jiaojiao who once occupied the 11 Wushan mountains completely surrendered, and then unified the 12 Wushan mountains. The integration has formed the huge world of the Sea of Sky Elves. After a long period of time, the Fire Elves are the most powerful, and the leaders in the Sea of Sky have grown up and guarded here for generations. The Altar of the Elves, it is said that this place is the place where Yaoji, the goddess of Wushan, is the place of success. After Yaoji unified the 12 Wushan mountains to establish the space of the Sea of the Sky, she would dormant here all day long, comprehending the power of heaven and earth, and painstakingly practiced witchcraft. When he was out of the customs for decades, his strength was approaching the peak of reincarnation, and even the three-headed Jiao, who had survived 8 calamities, did not dare to give birth to any disobedience. That kind of strength can be said to be the real transformation of the world, so that countless elf creatures can only look up and worship. Later, with the stability of the Sea of Sky space and the prosperity of elves, Yaoji quietly left here with 3 gods, and went to the Great Thousand World. After a long time, the first war between heaven and earth struck. The Altar of the Elves, on the highest mountain range in the deep sea of the sky, is surrounded by some plants and trees, and the fragrance of birds and flowers is a very warm paradise. The top of the altar is as smooth as a flat mirror. Fabulous. And this place is really the holy land of the elf world. Countless elves enter here, and they can vaguely feel the hidden aura left by the goddess Yaoji. At this time, there are already many figures in the Altar of the Elves, including many elders from the headquarters of the Fire Elves, who are fully responsible for this competition. In a few days, the entire world of the Sea of Elves in the sky has become turbulent. In the face of the election of the leader of the elves, the election of the Fire Elves, many other high-level elves of the ordinary elves are also going to them one after another. The arrival of the competition day has made this peaceful altar of spirits unprecedentedly lively, with figures strewn from all sides in an orderly manner, although most of them are watching the excitement, but they know that this time after the competition, the entire family of Fire Elves will be completely changed. With the emergence of this fiery phenomenon of the elf altar, countless elf powerhouses who came here stayed quietly outside the altar, waiting for the nod of the elders of the Fire Elf headquarters before daring to enter. The tyrannical wrist of the hand can make this world quiet, and the strength can be learned from the world. And the 3 heavyweights waiting for this fight. Someone is coming. Some elf powerhouses with a keen sense of smell who were dormant above the forest trees found that a void at the edge of the forest collapsed, slightly became distorted in an instant, and several extremely tyrannical breaths bloomed like a piercing sun. Princess Alice of the Western Tribe, and the 2 participating elders behind him. 2 of the first level reincarnation level strength, and 1 of the reincarnation level strength. The Western Tribe actually has such a terrifying formation. Looking at the 3 people in front of them, they broke through the void and emerged. Many strong men couldn't help but take a deep breath. The election of the Fire Elves just depends on the tyrannical means of the 3 major electors, each of which draws people's hearts and forces to fight against each other in the Sea of the Sky, so Alice can get the help of a first-level reincarnation elf powerhouse, for them in other words. Its strength should not be underestimated. Looking at the situation, Princess Alice of the Western Tribe was wearing a light blue dress, and a faint energy gauze shrouded her behind her, which showed her graceful figure vividly, and her long hair fell, but because the wind was very noisy here, instead, it danced in the sky. With a light blue crystal chain on the jade neck revealing an elegant atmosphere, the skin is like snow, and the smile is smiling, and the whole body is set off like a fairy. Princess Alice, the most promising among the 3 major electors, is considered to be a leader among Fire Elves in terms of strength and beauty. The people from the Eastern Tribe have also arrived. Crack. With a sound, the 3 people from the Western Tribe just stepped out of the void, and a void passage emerged from the forest outside the altar. Princess Chen in the Eastern Tribe. Everyone raised their heads, and then a beautiful melody murmured in their ears. The latter's cloud sleeves swayed slightly, and the slender waist actually fluttered, as if dancing their jade body with the rhythm, like a dancing butterfly, generally beautiful. The woman looks extremely delicate, her eyes are full of hope, her eyebrows are like green feathers, her teeth are like shells, and a pink bracelet is casually lying on her natural wrist. Water, occasionally flickering with a hint of worry, gives people a sacred aura that can only be viewed from a distance and cannot be played with. East Falls, Chen. The woman opened her mouth, her sweet smile hung on her pretty face all the time. Between the armrests of a jade chain, countless mysteries were added. The cyan dress fluttered in the wind, and the long black hair was added in the wind. The beauty is so suffocating. The candidates for the 2 major tribes have arrived. There are 2 first tier and 1 reincarnation tier in the Western Tribe, but only 2 reincarnation tier powerhouses in the Eastern tribe accompany Princess Qianqin and a first tier one. Some of the elves who were optimistic about the Eastern tribe looked remorseful. Obviously, in this competition, the strength on the bright side has already determined the key to the outcome. Don't worry, there are people from the Southern tribe. A melodious voice fell, and the atmosphere in the entire elf forest began to change, and it vaguely became extremely hot. Everyone, it's been a long wait. Xiao Yi stepped through the void and came along with the 2 figures behind her, smiling cheerfully at the crowd. There were 2 people behind him, one was Xiao Yang who was silent and kept a faint smile, and the other was the only first-level reincarnation elder in the Southern tribe, Ma Wen. The strength among the Southern tribes is the bottom of the 3 major tribes in any respect. Why do they still have the courage to compete for the next patriarch position? The fluctuations of the space channel slowly collapsed, and the 9 people among the 3 major tribes were facing each other at a distance, but the terrifying confrontation in the dark would probably ignite at a moment. There were 9 figures, and the aura on each of them was as vast and unfathomable as the deep sea, making some of the surrounding elf powerhouses have a faint sense of fear at a glance. The 3 major tribes formed by the 3 major electors alone have such a terrifying formation. I am afraid that this type of formation and handwriting can only be achieved by a giant race like the fire elf. That guy, could it be that the human beings who used the strength of the 8-star fighting immortals to repel the elders of the Western tribe? Does this human really possess such terrifying power? The internal affairs of the fire elves, this kind of thing is involved by outsiders, I'm afraid. The elf powerhouses who were onlookers looked at each other in dismay, and you muttered every word. Difference. Is this guy the extraordinary human being you call him? The mere midterm strength of the 8-star fighting immortals can actually knock you back. This is unprecedented. After taking her breath, a maid elf behind Alice made a slight voice, with a hint of contempt in her voice, and her beautiful eyes glanced at Xiao Yang. 2 of the first tier and 1 of the peak of reincarnation. The strength of this Western tribe is really extraordinary. But there seems to be something in the space here that makes Fen Zhu and Sheng Yang disgusted. Is it a foreign evil race? Xiao Yang glanced at the inner altar of spirits, and muttered to himself. The fluctuations of the other 2 electors and 6 people are not bad, but there seems to be some strange atmosphere under this space. Hey, yes or not, I'm afraid you need to try it yourself. Xiao Yang laughed casually, but after his voice fell, the temperature of the whole world suddenly began to heat up, and a scorching hot breath permeated out. Boy, you! Just when Maid Allen was about to speak, Alice Youngya raised her palm and waved, and the latter closed her mouth just now. Since everyone is here, let's take a seat. Suddenly, a long voice sounded in this world, making the restless and fiery breath of countless people instantly silent. Triple or quadruple? This is just an elder among the fire elves, not the strongest. It seems that there is a reason why this fire elves can become a giant force in the world. Xiao Yang was surprised. Elder Ma Lin, wait a minute, Alice has something unknown. Just above the elf altar, a layer of silver afterglow slowly dissipated, and when everyone was about to step into it, Alice suddenly made a sound. What's the matter? The second elder Ma Lin, although he was already some years old, still looked at Alice with a beautiful face. The election of the fire elves is an internal affair of our elves. Now it's a bit unreasonable to let an outsider intervene. Alice's gentle voice contained some very obvious prejudices, and she said with a lingering fragrance under the gazes of countless people. This bastard. When Xiao Yi heard the words, she cursed inwardly, but because there are so many elven powerhouses today, it is not easy for them to attack, so she can only stare at Alice with a gloomy face. What Princess Alice said is very true, this is the internal affairs of our elves, and now a human being is involved, Following Alice's opening, some strong elves who supported the Western tribe opened their mouths to join in. Well, let's do it. Xiao Yi and I have been sworn in since childhood, so I came here just for Xiao Yi. We don't have much interest in the affairs of the chief among your fire elves. Xiao Yang walked over to Alice step by step, the dazzling fighting spirit on his body began to rise, and it vaguely turned into an amber-colored energy flame, releasing the divine and pure aura. Sir, this? Ma Wen, who was on the side, looked at Xiao Yang's appearance, and immediately wondered, they came to compete for the position of the next head of the fire elf clan. Xiao Yang's actions seemed to push them out. Second elder, did you hear it too? So, according to Alice's humble opinion, it is better to arrest this human being and wait for the end of the competition before making a decision. Alice seemed to be holding the winning ticket, and she always kept a faint smile on her face. It's okay if you want me to leave. Second Elder, please give Xiao Yi everything in the seal of Xiao Yi's reincarnation. Of course, if you all insist on using force, Xiao Yang, the master of the Endless Fire territory, is not talented, and you are willing to make a scene here. Xiao Yang's voice fell, and the amber flame rose like a piercing, scorching sun. The dazzling brilliance purifies the restlessness in the bodies of countless elf powerhouses, and the surging flame energy spread out everywhere. Under the threat of this flame, even the elven powerhouse with the strength of reincarnation could smell a rare heart palpitation. This video will end here.